ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਆਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਇਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦਿ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਭੀ ਸੱਚ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਧਰਨ ਗਗਨ ਨਵਖੰਡ ਮਹੈ ਜੋਤ ਸਵਰੂਪੀ ਰਹਿਓ ਭਰ ਭਨ ਮਥੁਰਾ ਕਛ ਭੇਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੁਰ ਅਰਜੁਨ ਪ੍ਰਤੱਖ ਹਰ। ਡੰਡਾਉਤ ਬੰਦਨ ਅਨਕ ਬਾਰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਾ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਡੋਲਣ ਤੇ ਰਾਖੋ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਕਰ ਹੱਥ। ਤੇਰੇ ਜੋਰ ਮੈਂ ਗੁੰਗਾ ਕਹਤਾ ਹੂੰ ਤੇਰਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ।
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਖੁਬੜੀ ਕੋਥਾਏ ਮਿੱਠੀ ਗਲਣ ਕਮੰਤਰੀਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਈ ਉਬਰੇ ਜਿਨਾ ਪਾਗ ਮਥਾਹੇ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਪਤਿਤ ਪਾਵਨ ਭਗਤ ਵਤਸਲ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇ ਖਜ਼ਾਨੇ ਜੋਤ ਰੂਪ ਧੰਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। We're blessed again to be continuing through this camp where we have been able to join with the teachings from our gurus through the lectures and talks, the workshops, and now as we have been joined in the Diwan, we have heard and partaken in Sri Rara Sahib Ji da Path, Aarti de Kirtan, and then we heard some Tadi Vaaran, celebrating, remembering Sant Giani Jarnail Singh Khalsa Ji, whose birthday, if you will, was on this day in 1947, the 2nd of June. And now we have heard some Kirtan before we continue this Katha of the Baani from Salok Vaaran te Vadheek, the extra Saloks of our Gurus that have been collected by Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, which are placed at the end angs of Sahib Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. We've also, on these last few days, remembering the Shahidi of Shahidan de Sartaj, the crown jewel of all Shaheeds, Sahib Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, our 5th Guru. And on this day, Satguru Sahib Ji themselves sit on that tatti tavi, that hot plate, and allow that hot reta, that hot sand to be poured all over them. Yesterday they had stood in that tatta reta, that hot sand, and sand was poured over them. But today now they have done that jonkara on that tatti tavi, that hot plate. The tawa, for those that don't understand, is where we make prashade rotiyan, and a large tawa or a tavi allowed Guru Sahib Ji to sit on it while it was burning hot, and then that tatta reta was poured over them. Remember, they've already stood on hot sand. They've already sat in a hot cauldron of boiling water, and sand is already being poured over them. They have not taken a sip of water or food from Chandu. And the 5 Gursikhs, the main Gursikhs of the time, they have accompanied them, but they are witnessing this, ready to take back to Sahib Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, and the Gursikhs as Gursikhi will develop further. At the same time, in 1984, it was exactly the 3rd of June when Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Shahidi Purb was in that year. And today, on that date, the firing has already started. Singhs are being made Shaheed, and the plans are in place to formally launch the attack with the tanks. We also know, because of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Shahidi Dihara, that curfew that was put in place, that is about to be opened to allow more Sangata to attend, before suddenly tomorrow the curfew will be put in place again for 36 hours when that final assault on Sri Harmandir Sahib takes place. But we also know the Singhs Juj ke Shaheed hoye and defended Sri Harmandir Sahib. So that is the happening of this day. Now let us focus on the Baani of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. As we've been remembering them, we are focusing on this Baani which we don't necessarily get the chance to reflect on. It is the Baani just before the Salok of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, which we listen to at the end of an Akhand Path Sahib or a Sahaj Path Sahib, and tomorrow evening we'll be doing the Bhog of a Sahaj Path Sahib to commemorate the Shahidi Dihada of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. So we'll be starting after this Baani. So this is a chance to focus and take in the teachings from Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji.
Khubadi kothai mithi galan kamantariya.
Khubadi kothai. Kothai. Ko means khoti, an evil, a bad place, if you will. Thai, a place. Khubadi. Khubbi hui. When something khubbi hui is stuck in, we are stuck in that bad place, if you will. In that place which is not good for us, which is this world, this illusion, this maya. We are stuck here, coming over and over again in different forms. Mithi galan kumantariya. Mithi is sweet. Galan, initially you can translate this to galan, gal, the words of kumantriya. A mantri is somebody who's an advisor, a counselor, a member of parliament, if you will. Ko, whenever kakka shabad comes in front of a word with an ankar, ko, it generally means kota, a bad place, a bad situation, something which is not good, the negative. Ko mantriya, somebody who is given us bad advice, somebody who has given us a different mantar, ko mantar, a mantar that is different from our Guru's mantar. And mithi galan, the words seem sweet to us, and we have become stuck in this place because maybe we have started to recite and meditate on a different mantra, in a different way from the way of our Guru, and therefore we don't find that peace. Galan also translates to Gilan. Gilan then translates in English to somewhere like a swamp, a quagmire, where we cannot come out. That place seems mithi to us. It seems sweet to us. We are attached to this world, and we are advised that this place is the place of truth. But actually, this place is only temporary. But we have become stuck, emotionally attached with the material assets of the world.
Nanak sei ubbare jinna paag matha hai.
So one would ask, how will we be saved from this? Ubbare, how will we be saved? Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji's 5th form, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji decree, Nanak sei ubbare. Those who are saved are jinna paag matha hai. Paag are those great, is that great good fortune, if you will. Matha is our matha. Everybody has lines or lake on their matha. We have also lake on our back, on our hands, and we have lake on the bottom of our feet. Those lake are our deeds written that we have brought forth into this life. The mathe de lake are the karams that we, the pathway that is decided for us in this life. The karam that is written on our hands can also be read in that way, but they can be changed. the karma are also written on our feet. And some people who have that knowledge, they can read these lines. But these lines can change. The one on our hands change depending on what our deeds are. So if somebody goes to a fortune teller or somebody who reads hands and they read their hand, the hand will say certain things. But those karma can be changed due to our daily deeds that we do. The ones on our forehead, they cannot be changed instantly. They can only be changed through our Guru's kirpa. And that is why when we come to the Guru's darbar, we matha take. Matha take is bowing down. And what we're supposed to do is put both of our hands down on the floor. And then our forehead must also touch the floor. There is the charantur, the dust of the saints, the dust of our Guru. And that dust can change, rub out any negative deeds, making them positive. If you think of a stamp, when a post office stamp stamps on an envelope, on the stamp itself, it is in a negative form. But when it comes on the envelope, it turns positive. Just like a photograph, negative, in the old days, you would have negatives, and then they would be made into positive pictures. When we bow our head in this way and we touch the floor, these lake that are on our hands and foreheads, as they are negative, keeping us bound to this world, the more we matha take, kar dandaut pun vadda hai. Pun vadda hai, we read in Kirtan Soila every night. When we do that dandaut and matha take, then those negative deeds that have been written for us, they will turn positive. When they turn positive, then jinnah pag matha hai. Then in our matha, those pag, we will have fortunate writings, fortunate deeds that have been written. They'll have been changed. The pathway written out in our life, that can never change. But if there is something to occur, the level of occurrence can decrease. So if something really bad is going to happen, the more we read Baani, meditate on the name of the Lord, do sangat, and our lake change, then although we're on that path and we may have to face that obstacle, but if you will, however bad we may think it is, that level of badness, if you will, decreases, and that obstacle becomes so small that we can easily cross over it. In a simple example, if somebody is there are sakhis in Guruji's times, from Guruji's times, where somebody was going to be strung up on a crucifix, if you will. But actually, due to his sangat he did of Guruji, he was only pricked by a needle. So the level of hurt, if you will, of negativity will and can decrease through our Guruji's blessings. And when we come to our Guru sanctuary, they are the ones that are able to save us. So even in our worldly affairs can be made decrease if they seem negative, but also we can develop positivity. That is why it is important to have a Guru. Because if we have a perfect Guru, all obstacles in our life can be overcome. Because our Guru removes those obstacles.
Suttade sukhi savan jo ratte sah apana.
Jo ratte sah apana. Jo ratte. Remember, that is to be colored in the love of Sah. Sah is our husband. Our husband is the Almighty Lord. We are all soul brides. And the husband Lord, Eka Purk. There is one husband Lord, Sabai Nar. We are all soul brides, female entities. Our souls are female, and we are bound in union to our husband. And we want to experience oneness with our husband Lord. But Guru Sahib Ji is saying here, Jo ratte sah apane. Those who are colored with the love and are one with their husband Lord, what do they experience? Suttade sukhi savan. If we literally translate this, suttade, it means to sleep, being asleep. Sukhi, peace. Savan, we are fast asleep in peace. What sort of sleep is Guruji talking about? They're not talking about sleeping like we do at night. They're talking about a deep meditation which is called a samadhi. We are in deep state meditation in oneness with the Lord. Now, those who meditate on the name of the Lord, they will know these things because they experience these things. There are many in this Sangat that meditate on the name, and they will have experienced these experiences. There are different types of samadhiya. And when we meditate on the name of the Lord, there are different routes to reach the Lord. We first have to meditate on the mantra. Remember, we don't want to have a ko-mantra, a mantra that is negative, that takes us away, that is from a false prophet, that is from a deity. Because meditating on those words will only take us to them, not to the Almighty. The mantra we get given, Vaheguru Gur mantra hai, Jap Homme Khoi. When we meditate on that mantra of Vaheguru that the Panch Pyare give us, then our Homme ego is subdued, is defeated. This is the only way to defeat the ego. With any other mantra, yes, we will gain spiritual progression. Yes, we can gain spiritual prowess. But if we want to defeat, go beyond our ego and become one ultimately with Nirankar, the formless, then we need the mantra of Vaheguru. And Vaheguru is that mantra. But those of us that recite and meditate on Mool mantra, which is the greatest root mantra, that can also join us with Vaheguru. Those of us that meditate on different Gurbani, that can also join us with the Almighty. Because all these Shabads have that Parskala, Gur Paras Ham Loho Mil Kanchan Hoye Aram. When we meet the Guru through these mantras, by reciting them, we are in union with them at that time. And then from iron we become gold. But our Guru has even great Visheshta. Paras Parsya Paras Hove. In other faiths, one may say one can get blessed. Our Guru, first of all, makes those from iron to gold. They make them one. But there is even a great blessing our Guru gives. Who gives away in this world every secret? Only one that is truly compassionate. Who gives away everything to their disciple? If you go to learn different martial arts, teachers, they will always take you up to a certain amount. And then you'll have to find somebody else to take you to the next level. Even in schools, certain teachers will take you to certain levels. Then you move to a different year group, a different class, who take you to the next stage. Our Guru takes us all the way. We do not have to change anybody. Paras Parsiya. They are the form of Paras. They can turn others into gold. But they give their Gursikhs the same blessing, and they give them the same Shakti that then even they are able to turn people into gold. So Guruji shares the blessings, shares the prowess between and into their disciples. When we meditate on the name, there are many ways of meditation. Some meditate simply. If we take just Vaheguru Shabad, Vaheguru, 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 they start in that way. Sant Jarnail Singh was once asked, how do we meditate? Give us a Jugti, give us a Shtrika. Sant Ji said that start by just saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. If you call out constantly, then one day Guru will listen and they will take you in. Some use their breath, and they use different techniques with their breath, where they would say Vaheguru breathing in, Guru breathing out. Some do the reverse. Vahe breathing out, Guru breathing in. Some recite Vaheguru multiple times in one breath. Some don't even use their breath. Some use the different chakra points on their body. They meditate with Vava Shabad down under the Nabi towards the Hirda, which is here, the Hirda chakra. They will say, hey, go to their Kant, which is just in our throat. They will say, go, and then they will take to the Trikuti, and they will say, Ru, and they will say, Vaheguru, moving upwards. And some don't even say words, they listen. They listen and focus. Sabad, the Baani, they focus on the Baani. Sabad Guru, Sorta Tona Chella. They take the Shabad to be their Guru, and their concentration, Sorta Ton, on the sound. And they focus on the sound. Some imprint the words in their forehead. They close their eyes and they focus on the word. In other words, there are many ways. Some further then concentrate on the meanings of Vaheguru. They don't listen to the sound. They focus on what the word means. Some go further and focus on what each letter means. These are all multiple ways to meditate through the Shabad, the mantra that our Guru gives us. Not one way is correct and not one way is wrong. All ways like this will lead to Vaheguru. The ones who are blessed will be blessed through Gur Prasad. You may think you've got a great Jugati, You may think that you don't know nothing, but those who are blessed with Gur Prasad, the blessing of the Guru, they might say Vaheguru once and they will be adjoined. One may say Vaheguru millions of times and they still cannot find peace. The reason why that is usually because as well as meditating, we have to listen, believe and follow the teachings of our Guru. From Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, but also from the Guru Khalsa Panj Pyare. We talk about a minimum rahat. Actually, technically, if our Guru says something to us, there is no minimum. If a Guru says, stand in that corner, then we wouldn't go stand in this corner, we would stand where our Guru says. So whatever teachings they give us, there is no minimum. Every single teaching should be listened to, believed in and followed. The more we do that, when we meditate, then Gur Prasad occurs. Because Guru Sahib Ji is happy to the one who listens, believes and follows their teachings. And then, as this Shabad is saying, Samadhi. How do we reach these Samadhi? There is one type of Samadhi called the Savikalp Samadhi. Now, I apologize if some people think, why are we talking about these? Some people, some Gursikhs want to know about these things. And some Gursikhs are starting out on this path and they find these things. But it's important to reflect on every level or as many levels as we can so we can find an aim in coming to these camps when we go, because actually our aim is to meditate on the name of the Lord. Sarab Taram Meh Sresht Taram Har Ko Naam Jap Nirmal Karam. The greatest Taram, faith, practice, righteousness. Sarab Taram, out of all faiths and practices. Sarab Taram Meh Sresht Taram. Which one is the most supreme? Har Ko Naam Jap. Meditating on the name of the Lord is the greatest faith and discipline and practice. And what happens? Nirmal Karam. Our deeds become pure. When our deeds become pure, when we take away and burn away all our deeds from our previous lives, then there is only Vaheguru left. If we have a Shabad, Savikalp Samadhi. Savikalp is a type of Samadhi, and I'm discussing this because in the question and answer today, those that were there, we reflected on some of these things. And as I was growing up and developing to Sikhi, all answers, when we would ask questions of our Ustads, they would always tell us, your answer will be in the Katha. Because Guruji in the Katha is answering everybody. It doesn't have to be a Hukamnama when we need an answer. This Baani is the answer to all our questions. And Guruji is answering some of those questions that we may not have got to. Savikalp is when we focus on Sargun, the form of Vaheguru, which has complete characteristics. Like Gurus, they were Sargun, they had a form, they had a body. The Shabad is the Shabad form of Vaheguru. If we focus on the sound of the Shabad, that is called a Shabad Savikalp Samadhi, when we completely focus and our mind doesn't wander. If we focus on the meanings of the Baani or the Shabad, that is called Ashabad Savikalp Samadhi. If we go further and we practice meditation and we don't let our mind waver, and when our mind wavers we bring it back to focus, but we focus on the formless Nirankar, that is called a Nirvikalp Samadhi. Nirvikalp, no thought, when no thought comes into our mind. Because when we're focusing on the sound, when we're focusing on the meaning of a Shabad, we are thinking. That's why that's called Savikalp. But if we want to have oneness with Nirankar, then we have to have no thought. And to have no thought, you have to practice that when our mind wavers, we bring it back. That is called Advait Pavana Nirvikalp Samadhi. Because any thought that is duality, that is material, our pavana, our hope and practice is we take it away. But the highest form is Ut Asthan Nirvikalp Samadhi. That is the highest type of Samadhi. And what that is, it naturally occurs. We don't have to force anything. No furna comes into our mind apart from when Akal Purukh Vaheguru themselves put something in your mind to act on. That is the kind of furna Brahma Gyanis, those who are one with God, receive, because they are under the command, literally, of Vaheguru doing the work that Vaheguru has sent them to do. So this samadhi, this need, this sleep of complete peace, Suttade Sukhi Savan, Jo Ratte Sah Apane. When we are completely colored in the love of Vaheguru, then our mind never wavers. But we have to practice to reach that state. Our mind never wavers. Just like we practice to walk, our children, we teach them how to walk. Their angs, their body, their senses are taught how to be used. In the same way, we teach our mind to sit at rest. Those of us who have dogs, a Gursik here, he has guard dogs. And he was telling me a while back how he buys them as a puppy and then he's trained them. In the same way, we have to train our mind, and our mind only to bring a thought when we command it to bring a thought. If you practice like this, meditating, it seems hard at the start, but with Gur Prasad, everything becomes easy. Then you, your true self, decide when your mind thinks. Your mind doesn't think on its own. Your true self commands the mind to think and commands the mind to stay quiet. It sounds very easy, but it only comes with practice. Just like we practice to walk, to run, to ride a bicycle, we must practice every day within our mind. Then when we color ourselves with the true love, then we will have that deep sleep of eternal peace, which is a true Ut Asthan Nirvikalap Samadhi.
ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਵਿਸ਼ੋਹਾ ਧਣੀ ਸਿਓ ਅਠੇ ਪੈਰ ਲਵਨ.
But those who are without the love of the Lord, Prema Vishoha, without the love of Tani, our master, so our husband, Atte Pair Lavan, Atte Pair 24/7, Atte Pair are 3-hour intervals of the 24 hours of a day. One pair is worth 3 hours. 8 of those make 24 hours. 8 times 3 is 24. So whenever we in Gurbani see Atte Pair, it means 24 hours of the day. Lavan. Lavan are people like me that talk constantly for 24 hours, talking about this is how you do this and this is how you do that, but don't have true love. Those that don't have true love, because they will never be able to focus on the Almighty Lord. And then further, Lavan, we will cry out in pain. Somebody show us the way. Because we may talk the talk, but we cannot walk the walk. And so then people like myself will be begging others to show us the way.
ਸੁਤੜੇ ਅਸੰਖ ਮਾਇਆ ਝੂਠੀ ਕਾਰਣੇ.
Here Suttade doesn't mean sleeping in a samadhi. Here Suttade means sleeping in what we call avidya, agyanata, having no spiritual wisdom, being ignorant to the Almighty Lord. Suttade asank. Asank is countless. Countless people are asleep in this world, in this creation. How? Maya chuthi karane. Due to karane, the chuthi, the false maya. This world, which is false, it's false because it comes to an end. Just like we are false, this body will come to an end. And we have been caught up in that, and therefore we are asleep. We are ignorant to the way of the Almighty, to the way to be liberated, to the way of becoming one with the Almighty. And that is due to this maya, this world, this creation that Vaheguru has created.
ਨਾਨਕ ਸੇ ਜਾਗਨ ਜੇ ਰਸਨਾ ਨਾਮ ਉਚਾਰਣੇ.
Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, the 5th form of Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji decree. Nanak, how do we want to wake? How do we want to awake from that ignorance? Se jagang, they will awake. Je rasana, with your tongue, naam ucharane. You have to start with your tongue. Je rasana naam ucharane. So if you are motivated from this camp and you haven't meditated before, you want to make a start and you're thinking, how do I start? You start with your tongue, and all you need to do is say Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. And soon, like I said, that Vaheguru that you meditate will be like a tape playing inside automatically. And those of you that are blessed, I know there are many here, sometimes that tape will go to a situation where you don't have to turn it on or off, it will automatically play. So it's so easy that all you have to do is focus on the sound, on the tape that's playing within. But to make that tape play within, you have to start practicing. So you have to make the start, you have to start with your tongue, then we will awake from this ignorance of being ignorant to the way of the Almighty Lord.
ਮ੍ਰਿਗ ਤ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਮ੍ਰਿਗ ਤਿਸਨਾ ਪੇਖ ਪੁੱਲਣੇ ਗੁੱਠੇ ਨਗਰ ਗੰਧਰਵ
We are caught up in this world thinking it to be true. Mrig tisana is like a mirage. Mrig is a deer, but this mrig tisana is a term used in throughout Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It's like on a hot day, and when you look in a distance, due to the sun, you think you'll see water. And when you get to that point, it's a mirage, and there's no water there. And actually, if you look further, then you'll see it again. Mrig tisana, pek. We see this world believing it to be true, but it's mirage. Pulane, and we've been lost in this. Vutte nagar gandrab. And nagar gandrab is like a heaven. In the previous ages, there was a king who, on his way to a swarg, everybody used to look up into the skies and in the clouds and think that heaven exists in the clouds. So they look up and think, that's where I want to go. Vutte nagar gandrab. But we believe this to be that place of heaven. Many people, many faiths, practices believe in paradise. But all those things that they yearn for in that paradise can be received here. So why do we aim to go to a place where those things are here and those things that our gurus say are actually false? So we are caught up and we have become lost in a mirage, believing everything to be true. And one day, if we don't wake up, we will realize that we wasted our life in vain.
ਜਿਨੀ ਸੱਚ ਅਰਾਧਿਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਨ ਤਨ ਫੱਬ
Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji's fifth form, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji decree, Nanak, man tan fab. Man, inner core. We reflected on this yesterday, those four parts. Tan, our body, our outer core. Fab, they are glorified, they are glorious. The buddhi, the intellect, the inner core, everything is glorious, everything is beautiful. When? Jini Sach Aradhya. When we meditate on the name of the Lord. So those of us now who have already been meditating with our tongue, how are they going to meditate? They should practice meditating within. Move away from the tongue, because if we stay on the tongue, then we will remain in the material world, because our tongue is part of our external senses. We need to move inwards. And Guru Sahib Ji is saying, Jini Sach Aradhya. When we do Aradhana, we're doing it from within. And so when we move from our tongue to within, Nanak Manatan Fab, we will adorn the form of our Guru on our body, and we within will find and realize Akal Purkh Vaheguru within our inner core. And when we Aradhana from within, we meditate on the form of truth. Jini Sach Aradhya, Nanak Manatan Fab.
ਪਤਤ ਉਦਾਹਰਣ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਸਮਰੱਥ ਪੁਰਖ ਅਪਾਰ.
But then we might think, but I've committed many sins in my last life, and I've had struggled through this life doing wrong things. I may even be an Amritari and I've made mistakes. But Guru Sahib Ji is so compassionate. Patit Udaran. The patit, the sinner, the one who makes the most mistakes. Just like our mother and father forgive us, Guru Sahib Ji forgive those of us that makes those mistakes. Patit Udaran. Even the patit will be saved. Even those that have made mistakes, if they come to the sanctuary of the Lord, even we will be saved. Par Brahm, the infinite almighty Lord, who is Samrat, almighty, all-powerful, Purkh, Puran, they are complete, they are perfect, apar. There is no limit to the greatness of the almighty Lord. They are so great that even those who have made mistakes like myself, even we can be blessed if we remain in their sanctuary.
ਜਿਸਹਿ ਉਦਾਰੇ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਸੋ ਸਿਮਰੇ ਸਿਰਜਣਹਾਰ.
And those that are saved, they realize that Guru Sahib Ji is saving us. Jise udari, those that want to be saved, Nanaka. Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji decree, if you want to be saved, focus on this again. So Simre Sirjanhar, the Creator Lord who created this world, Simre, meditate on His name. That is how we can all be saved.
ਦੂਜੀ ਛੋੜ ਕਵਾਟੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਸਸਿਓ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ.
Duji, duality, showed, leave, kovatri, the way of duality, the way of the false prophet, the way of hypocrisy. Leave that pathway. Ikkas sau chitalai. Ikkas, that one almighty Lord, who is our husband, so chitalai, our chit, our memory, our remembering, our meditation. Focus on that almighty Lord, that one Lord. Don't focus on anything else, any of the teachings. Listen, believe and follow their teachings, and then we will be saved.
ਦੂਜਾ ਭਾਵੀ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਵਹਿਨ ਲੋੜੰਦੜੀ ਜਾਏ।
And as we come to the end of today's part of this Baani, Duje Pavi, those who still question and want to love Pavi, Duje, the way of duality, the way of this material world, Nanaka Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji decree, Vahan Lorandadi Jai. Van is like a stream. We will be lost down the stream. It's like falling into a river and then Lorandadi falling and being wasted down that river, losing that opportunity to get to the other side. And in this way, Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji Maharaj, Shahidan de Sartaj, the crown jewel of all Shaheeds, that we have reached the 16th Pauri. This part is 22 Pauriyan, and the last 6 Pauris we will reflect on tomorrow. If I've made any mistakes, I beg for forgiveness. Guru Granth Sahib Ji, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, they are showing us the way. While we're at this camp, we need to focus and take as much away as possible. And we may not be able to take everything we've learned, but if we make note and we take and make small steps, because if we make small achievable steps, then we will feel that we're succeeding. And each time we achieve those small steps, we move on to another achievable step. In that way, we will be able to build, and then we will continue to go. देहो सजन सीसड़ियाँ जो होवा साहब सुमेल लेखा कतह न छूटिया खिन खिन भूलनहार बक्सनहार बक्सलै नानक पार उतार।
दूजी छोड़ को वाटड़ी
एक सोचित लाए दूजे भावी नानका वहन लुड़ंदड़ी जाए। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।
राम कली महला तीजा आनंद। एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद आनंद भया मेरी माए। सतगुरु मैं पाया सतगुर तां पाया सत सेती मन वजियां वादाइयां राग रतन परवार परिया शब्द गावन आईया सब दोता गावो हरि केरा मन जिनी वसाया कह नानको आनंद होआ सतगुरु मैं पाया। ए मन मेरेया तू सदा रहो हर नाले हर नाल रहो तू मन मेरे दुख सब विसारना अंगीकार हो करे तेरा कारज सब सवारना सबना गल्लां समरथ स्वामी सो क्यों मनो विसारे कह नानको मन मेरे सदा रहो हर नाले साचे साहिबा क्या नहीं कर तेरा करता तेरा सब किछ है जिस देह सो पावे सदा सिफत सलाह तेरी नाम मन वसावे नाम जिनका मन वसिया वाजे